my name is India. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me for another video. This one is my reading colors vlog for Orange. I've already started the vlog, as you will see, but I did want to have a clip of me sitting down and actually introducing the video. So if you are interested, I have a video of me talking about Orange books that I've enjoyed, and I'll have that linked somewhere. I'm wearing the one orange shirt that I own, which is interesting. I think I might have like an orange sweater somewhere, but it is supposed to be 99 degrees today, so I will not be doing that to myself. So one of the things I did, I filmed this, but I don't think I'm going to include it, is I went through all of the Orange books that I have with me, which is not every Orange book I own, but I went through and decided which ones I wanted to read, and I'm starting off with Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. This is not a family drama, but it chronicles a family from like the 1770s in Ghana to Jazz Age Harlem, so it's pretty recent history, and follows the descendants of these two sisters, one of whom is married to a British colonist in Ghana, and one of whom is captured and sold into slavery, like under the same like community and group of people. So yes, I'm really enjoying this thus far. Each of the chapters follows a different character, which I'm enjoying, and I think gives some it's nice to get this like shift of voice and perspective. Then I want to reread Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. This is one of the first queer books that I read when I was like, do I like women? And it is due time for me to give it a reread, especially because I want to read Why Be Happy When You Could Be Normal, which is her memoir, which kind of covers what she writes about in here. Pretty much this is about a young girl who is realizing her sexuality and realizing her attraction to women, and her experience of realizing that in a highly religious household and highly religious community. So this has a lot of trigger warnings for like religious trauma and sexuality, or religious trauma and queerness, but I am looking forward to rereading this. I then want to get to Queenie by Candace Carty Williams. This is, I've heard this described a couple ways. I've heard it described as like a millennial book in the sense of it follows a character who is a millennial. So this is a contemporary book about Queenie Jenkins, journalist, catastrophist, expressive, aggressive, dramatic, loved, lonely, relatable. Her boyfriend has asked her to leave their apartment. Her boss doesn't seem to see her. Her Jamaican British family doesn't seem to hear her. Her best friends try to help her. The series of men she meets online treat her hideously, and yet she doesn't stop seeing them. Queenie is in a spiral. So I'm excited to read this. And then, so typically with these videos, having only done one, I think 3 books is a nice number to do. But as I was going through my Orange books, I realized I don't know if I want to continue reading any of Ernest Hemingway. And so I'm going to try to read a little bit of this and see how I get on with it. And if it is compelling, I will continue, but this will probably be the last of his books that I, read. And if I don't like it, then I will get rid of it. But yes, this is The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. I do love the cover. I think it's really very pretty. And this is about the lost generation and some people in Paris in the 1920s. Yeah, we will see what I think about this. But yes, it is, what day is it? Tuesday, August 9th? 10th? August 10th, there we go. Yesterday I went on a very nice picnic with my friend Charlotte, and today we're going to the same spot to go swimming, which I'm really excited about. I'm also moving to a new apartment. I'm moving out of this one and into a new one. And so I'm packing up because I'm also leaving to drive back to Idaho in a couple days. So I'll probably be reading Queenie as an audiobook as I'm packing and driving. Good morning. I am, as per usual, doing way too many things at once, but let's first check in about homegoing. This follows, so far, two characters, Essie and Efia, who are both in Ghana, and it starts in like the 1760s, 1770s. Yeah, we're just kind of learning a little bit about their histories and their backgrounds. And I'm really enjoying the writing thus far, and like I'm very interested to see where this goes because I know it spans like many centuries, right? Yes. Sorry. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Right now I am making cake because, okay, so here's one example. We have one kind of sad sponge cake. My friend and I have been planning this like very aesthetic cottagecore picnic. So I'm making some like Victoria sponge cake, and I just tried to / maybe successfully mended my picnic basket. This is very, oh, what's in here? Jesus. I found this when I was in Washington visiting family. How can I? But as you can see, it's got some holes in it, which up here I haven't managed to get to, but I've been using ribbon to like reinforce the wooden slats, and I've done the bottom, as you can see, like the black peeking through. Maybe showing from the inside would make more sense. But yeah, this is my like temporary solution. There you go, you can kind of see that. But I would like to, at some point, completely rework it. I don't know if that's like within my wheelhouse. I don't know if that's something that I can just like teach myself how to do, or if I'll end up messing up this basket. But yeah, that's what we're taking on our picnic. I'm gonna make some little sandwiches. My friend is getting, excuse me. Crap. This one, her favorite treat is ribbons. And so she's been very intrigued as to what I've been doing. Doing down. But yeah, my friend is getting some like sparkling raspberry lemonade and making caprese salad. It's just going to be a good time. But yeah, I've been like baking and need to start on the sandwich prep. I just wanted to check in about Homegoing, which I am really enjoying. I think I've said this before, but the style and the structure of having each chapter follow like the next like descendant and the next generation of characters, or yeah, a character of the next generation. But yeah, no, this structure is amazing and it's done really well and I'm really enjoying it. It's interesting to see when the children are like mentioned in the story, or like in the chapter before their own chapter. Am I making any sense? I don't know. My cat is looking at me like I'm not making any sense. But no, I'm so happy to be reading this and want to get would love to read another chapter tonight. Because tomorrow is a busy day for me. It's kind of my final day here before I'm going to Idaho, and then when I get back, I'm moving. I need to finish packing, and, you know, give all of the plants one last water before I'm gone for a bit. My roommate will be here taking care of my cat, and can also look after the plants, but just making sure they're taken care of, especially because it's about to get super hot again. It's supposed to get to 108 on Friday, which is stressful and really concerning. But yeah, so just trying to make sure that everything is in order so that I can come back and move. But yeah, I would like to have as much of this read, and at least, you know, I'm close to the halfway point, at least halfway through before I start listening to Queenie, and I think I will wait and start that while I'm on my 6-hour drive. Good morning. I hope you appreciate this very clearly amazing lighting. Since it's getting hot, we're keeping all of the blinds closed because we don't have AC. But good morning. My plan for today: breaking things down into little steps. I need to do laundry and like wash my sheets so I can pack my sheets and then change the sheets, do all the sheets, and completely clear out like the drawers of the nightstand so that I can put bins on that side of the bed, just so that I don't have like so much stuff out here. And I might end up moving the bed frame that I picked up. No, it can stay where it is. It's not in anyone's way. Hello. What am I doing? I am packing. To remind myself. So, reading Homegoing. It's reminding me of The Known World by Edward P. Jones. I think I may be getting the author's name wrong, but especially the parts of Homegoing where we are reading the perspective of the family line that's in America right now, it's in the US right now, because there is this similar thing in the known world of like following the narrative or getting the perspective of a family like and its descendants, not in the same like structure as Homegoing, but just like it is similar. So yeah, it was making me think about that, and I enjoyed the known world, but it was something that didn't click with me a bunch, and I think both because of the structure and the writing, and it was something where like cool things happened at the very end, and I wanted to know more about that. But yeah, I'm close to the 200 page mark. And just finished reading Kojo's chapter in perspective, which was really heartbreaking. So I'm taking a break to pack. I find packing very stressful. I don't think that's a unique perspective, but especially clothes, because I'm like, I don't know. All I know is it's gonna be hot. But yeah, I don't know how my cat is taking this. She's very curious about the dresser that a friend of mine gave me. I need to go to the store, like at some point when I'm feeling like I need a break from being in the apartment. I need to go to the store to pick up some chocolate chips for making banana bread. Because I have some bananas that are they're like at the right stage of banana bread making. So yeah. Oh, hello. Hello. How are you? She's so precious. I'm gonna miss her while I'm gone. She's like, I don't super care, human. Okay, I changed because I went out to try to get a carrier for my cat, for Eleanor, because we've been using one from the vet, and it's just like the cardboard has gotten soft and it needs to be replaced. So yeah, it needs to be replaced. But I went to a thrift store to try to find one because I've seen some at other thrift stores, but not at this one. I did end up getting some other things though, which maybe I shouldn't have because I've been packing up all my stuff, and like there's never a more appropriate time to feel like I don't need more things. But I found this really pretty dress. So it's like cute and short, and I think will be nice like over a bra and some shorts. And I just realized I need to mend it a little bit, which is fine. I can do that, but yeah, it's lightweight and I like this design. It's like kind of graphic but still like floral, which is what I lean towards. And then I found The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. I read The Crimson Petal and the White and absolutely adored it. And I saw this and I was like, this looks like it's never been read. So I'll pick it up. And then I found this hardback copy of The Crimson Petal and the White. And I'm going to give this to my grandparents because I think that both of them would really enjoy this book. So I'm gonna take it with me to give to them when I see them in a few days. So I definitely distracted myself a little bit too much from packing. I mended this hole. Can you see that? There. In this dress, which I'm excited about. I think it's cute. But I had this sheer ribbon that's the same blue as these triangles. So I found some blue and red thread and just mended it. And now I'm eating strawberries with leftover whipped cream that I had from my picnic. And after this, I'm going to go back to packing. And then my next break will be to clean the kitchen, or at least like unload the dishwasher, and start making banana bread. Okay, driving and talking at the same time, this is something that I can do. So I made it back, or I made it to Boise. I spent a good portion of the drive listening to Queenie by Candice Carty Williams. And I love it. It's so good. The narrator is fantastic. There we go. I was waiting for that to happen. The narrator is fantastic, and just like distinguishes all the voices of the different characters. The book opens with this scene of Queenie being in at a gynecology appointment, and like having all these doctors like come and like look at her vagina and like keep like the different doctors keep being like, oh, I'm gonna get another opinion, like wait while I get this nurse, wait while I get this other doctor, and all these things, and was just like instantly like puts you in this environment of like Queenie being treated. Hold on, I'm gonna stop and get out. I have some books that I'm getting rid of, which maybe I should take pictures of so that I know to take them off of my spreadsheet. Oh, hold on. Okay. Trying to articulate this. Yeah, this opening scene just like sets this theme of Queenie feeling like, or being in situations where she isn't in control of her body. That's not necessarily it, but like isn't the person who's dictating what's going on around her and what people are saying. That's not it either. Yeah. But Queenie's a really interesting character. Her friends are very interesting, and are very like very clear and distinct. And so yeah, I've been enjoying listening to it. I'm going to continue doing so. Right now I am dropping off books that I'm getting rid of, like A Movable Feast. I mean, I mentioned this at the beginning of the vlog. Do I even want to read Ernest Hemingway? We haven't gotten to me trying The Sun Also Rises, but I will, and we'll see. But I'm getting rid of that. I'm getting rid of Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, just because I'm like, I don't want to read this. I want to read like queer stuff. I don't know. And I'm going to the bookstore because I got a call from the local bookstore in Boise that was like, hey, you have a gift card. And I was like, cool. I'm in Portland, so we'll see the next time that I'm here. So I'm going to go see if I do indeed have a gift card, and then get a book or two. And then I need like body lotion. Oh, I've been reading. Okay, so I finished part 1 of Homegoing before driving here, and I'm now in part 2. And I just, it's so good. And, I don't know, I think both with Queenie and with Homegoing, which are two very different books about very different things, like, I'm noticing the ways that the authors are very skilled in creating a lot of characters, all of whom are multifaceted and fully distinguishable from the other characters. And I think, like, not that I read a lot of books where that isn't the case, but it's been something that I've been noticing a lot more. Okay, here we are. Look who is finally wearing some orange. I do love these pants. They're great and comfortable. I don't know why I don't wear them more often. I finished reading Homegoing by Ya Jassi this morning and loved it. I mean, to reiterate what I know I've said in a bunch of other clips, I really liked the way that this is structured, of like, we are just following the descendants of these two sisters, and these two like lines of a family. So one of them being, and these sisters have never met. They know of each other, or like their next in kin know of each other, but they were never in each other's lives. But one of the lines starts with a sister who is married to a British soldier in Ghana and who is instrumental in solidifying a slave trade in Ghana, or a trade to the Americas. And then the other sister is captured and enslaved in this same place. So we get to see these lines, and it's like as if this is a short story collection, because each of the chapters follows one distinct character and their life and their experience, and some of them include their parents, but by nature of the story, by nature of having a story about slavery and about enslaved peoples, and an institution that very readily split up families and disregarded families. Some of them don't include that, so that was interesting to take note of. I mean, fire is a really big theme here, and this idea of what is evil, and then having the things that have happened in your family line, in your things that have happened to your ancestors, influencing what's happening to you or what you're caring about. So beautifully written, so amazing. I know her book Transcendent Kingdom has been making its waves recently, and I know I'll have to pick it up. But yes, I really enjoyed this. What a way to start off this vlog, me saying probably 10, 15, potentially 20 minutes into this video. So yes, I don't know when I'm going to get back to listening to Queenie. There's part of me that, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I was like, oh, I listened to this while driving, so I want to continue listening to it while driving, so that I'm having this I'm doing the same thing while I'm listening to it, and so that isn't something that will affect my listening experience. But I also want to get back to it so bad, so maybe I'll go on a walk today It's still gonna be warm, but maybe I can walk to the river and just hang out. But I'm also going to get the hammock up and sit and read a bit of The Sun Also Rises to see if I want to read this. And I will let you know about that. I think I want to read at least the first 2 or 3 chapters. Well, okay, those chapters are short. I'd like to get past page like 58, so to chapter 7, and see how it's going. I always find it funny when I tell myself I'm going to do something, or like I don't know, reach a certain point before I decide not to do something. We all knew I wasn't going to read this, right? I didn't get 50 pages through. I think I got 15 pages, more than 15, like 15 or 16 pages through. And already I don't think I like this. I don't think I'm going to like it. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I think, like, you know, I'm trying to be better about not reading books just because I feel like I should, just because I feel like they're on the canon, because there are issues with the canon, and also there are other books that I want to read instead. My thing is, so far we've got this dude who's like, I'm getting old, I'm like 35, I need to travel, my life is boring, I'm so rich, and he's just like, I don't even know what. He's like complaining to this guy, and like in a similar way to The Great Gatsby, we have this like first person narrator, this character who's narrating about this guy, and yeah, I was like, this isn't what I want to read. And then the other thing that I noticed is in these first like less than 20 pages, this character's, the one who's like complaining about his life and being like, oh, I'm 35 and old, his Jewishness, or like the fact that he's Jewish, is mentioned a lot. It just felt weird and not great, which I'm sure like isn't surprising for people who have read a lot of Hemingway or like know more about him and the ways that he was problematic in his writing and his life. But yeah, it just felt very weird. I was like, what does this have to do with anything? So I'm not gonna read this. I do think that this is a beautiful physical object, and it does match my pants. And there was a hot second where I was like, what if I just do it because it's pretty? No. Ugh, sometimes. So I guess that means I'm starting on Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. I'm very excited to be rereading that. I think I mentioned this before, but that was one of the first queer books I read when I was starting to think about my sexuality, or like not necessarily like starting to think about my sexuality, but starting to feel more comfortable in like thinking about being queer and being attracted to girls. So it'll be potentially a nostalgic read. We'll see. So I just went for a walk and dropped off books at some little free libraries, which was nice. It wasn't a very long walk because it's so hot out. I don't know, it's like, I want to say it's in the like early 90s right now, but I did pass some free furniture, and specifically this lamp that I'm really interested in. It like it's kind of short for like a standing lamp, but it has this glass like circle midway that's kind of like a nightstand or like table, and I am gonna go get it and clean it up and see how it works. Lamp acquired, mostly cleaned off. I need to like vacuum the lampshade. I'm like, how do I clean this lampshade? It's also a little bit like, I don't love the lampshade, but that's okay. I will show you what this lamp looks like in like a later clip or something. But yes, I forgot to mention, on my walk I listened to another chapter of Queenie, and yeah, I think I meant to, when I was like talking about my first impressions of the book and like what this book is like, I meant to say like, this is like a breakup book. Like this follows Queenie as her boyfriend of 3 years is asking for a break and is really cutting all contact with her, basically. And so like we get a lot of her feeling really like frustrated about this and feeling like she's done something wrong, and then also knowing that like some of the things that have caused conflict in their relationship have been her standing up for herself as a black woman, and especially her interactions with his family and their microaggressions and like explicit racism, and then also just like as a woman, her trying to like advocate for herself and her own like sexual pleasure, which is an interesting topic in the book because we see her get in and out of, we see her like hooking up with people and forming these like casual relationships with people who are infuriating. Like listening to this book and listening to her like dating and like interacting with these men, I'm like, no, all of them are bad. Which is just really stressful, especially like there's a character who's meant to be seen as this like nice guy, and he's like, oh, I would treat you better than whoever's causing you trouble right now. And it's like hard to read about and hard to listen to. I'm like, oh my god, no, just like stop, just like don't do any of this. But yeah, conversations about sexual pleasure and sexuality occur in the book. Where I'm at now, which is about like the midway point, we're starting to learn a little bit more about her past and specifically her family, but like it's given to us in these very small like bits throughout, and so we're slowly learning. It's like, oh, there might be something there, but then it's not explored a bunch. So yeah. Okay, I'm on page 6, and we've got, I just love like this scene of like Jeanette is buying black-eyed peas from a woman, and the woman looks at her hand and she's like, you will never marry, and that is like this like queer foreboding, I don't know, but that isn't like Jeanette doesn't feel doomed because of that. She's just like, oh, okay, and then tells the story about 2 women who live together, 2 like old women, And it's just like, I remember being like a kid and, you know, having these very clear, I was like, I'm never gonna get married. Like, I don't see the point in that. And then thinking back in it and being like, maybe there was something there other than just not wanting to be married. So, man. What can you do? What can you do when you're small and queer and in a very religious environment? Okay, I'm almost, oh, that was backwards, 100 pages through, and there's this, like, I don't know, kind of like interlude, this like chapter in the middle-ish that is about history and about stories and like what makes history and what is storytelling and what are we supposed to believe about the past, what is knowing history useful for. And it's very like heady, like there's no specific like claim per se. So I'm wondering if like that is meant to act as a sort of like explanation or make us think about memoir and fictionalized, like semi-autobiographical fiction, and like I don't know if I have anything else to say about that, but yeah, I think that that could be what it's trying to do. I don't know. I don't want to say that I forgot how much this is about religion, because it's, you know, kind of like the big thing is that the main character, Jeanette, comes out, or her mom finds out about her relationship with a girl and tries to exorcise the demons that are making her follow these unnatural passions out, which is incredibly traumatic. And like this book has a lot of like content that might be triggering for people with religious trauma or who've like, I don't know, struggled with their sexuality and religion. But yeah, this is like, I mean, she's in a, what is this? Pentecostal evangelical, right? Pentecostal evangelist. She's in a Pentecostal evangelist family, and her mom is like really obsessed with missionaries and like tracking what the missionaries are doing and where they're at and what countries, and just Jeanette is very like set on becoming a missionary. And yeah, so like religion is huge. There's also something I super didn't realize when I first read this, and I'm now like very happy about, or not happy about, but kind of relating to, which I mentioned before, is this theme of like not wanting to marry and having like characters who are not marrying, or not characters who are not marrying, but there's this story about a perfect woman, or like this prince is looking for a perfect woman, and one of his advisors finds the perfect woman, and she's like, A, I'm not perfect, B, I'm not interested in marrying, so like I'm not gonna marry this prince. But yeah, then there's also just Jeanette being like, yeah, I don't want to marry, and then she's like, all these women, do they know that men are like this? Do they know that men are beasts? Are they being tricked into it? And she's like very concerned about it. She's like, do you know, like, were you aware that this is what was happening? And then like concern with marriage, and marrying and like not wanting to marry. And I don't know, there's part of me that like relates to that a bit. Like as a child, I was like, I very much understood that I didn't want to marry before I had any ideas of like attraction. And I think, you know, later as I was starting to understand attraction a little bit, like maybe there was part of me that was like, in order to marry, I have to be attracted to a man, because I thought marriage was between man and woman. And so, like, if, like, saying I don't want to marry was an easier way to get out of heterosexuality without knowing that that was what I was trying to do, that doesn't seem very original at lesbian nuns. Okay, well, I'm tired now, and I'm going to go to sleep before I continue to ramble about who knows what. We were out there for a while. I don't know what angle I want to. This is as far as I'm in the car to check in about oranges are not the only fruit. Again, I completely recognize I don't think I've been wearing enough orange. And this video is almost over. So I finished reading this yesterday, as I anticipated. And I don't think I had very clear memories of reading this when I did. I knew what the impression of this book was on me when I read it, but other than that, I think a lot of this escaped my memory. Yeah, this talks a lot about, I think this is really interesting to read, especially considering storytelling and how we tell our stories. It might serve as an interesting comparison to In the Dream House, because especially in the latter half of this book, or like kind of after the first third, we get these sections where Jeanette Winterson is retelling the story that she's telling us in a different way, usually through like this like folk or myth fairy tale. So we have this one running story about Sir Percival leaving Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table in search for the Holy Grail, but like that is mirroring Jeanette leaving her faith slash, I mean, like not leaving her faith, but leaving her community. Yeah, there are just all these other instances where we are getting the narrative and then there's a page break, or there's a break, and then we get another, like a flipped, yeah, we get another way of telling the story. I found that I really like, the last chapter is the longest chapter, and I found that I was kind of getting a little bit lost with the narrative as the chapter went on, which is interesting because it, the writing becomes a lot closer to what I've read from her other books, or to this stream of consciousness, almost ungrounded writing style. I feel like since most of this book is very clearly rooted in a narrative, whereas Written on the Body is more of a, like, I don't know what this means, but like this non-linear, non-narrative, like, musings, I guess, that having something that was similar to that near the end really felt disjointed, but it also did something because, like, we have this feeling of homecoming. So yeah, I'm really happy I read this. I'm really happy I reread this. There were a lot of allusions to Alice in Wonderland that I definitely didn't pick up the first time I read this, and that's become something that I really enjoy in books, when there are these like slight allusions to Alice in Wonderland. Again, another connection to In the Dream House. So maybe, I don't know, if you liked In the Dream House structurally, this could be interesting to pick up and to compare. Man. So yeah, I only have Queenie to finish. I listened to it on my drive down here. I'm currently spending some time with my grandparents, which has been nice. The smoke is awful, but it's not good. Southern Idaho, which is where I'm at right now, is getting smoke both from northern Idaho fires and from like southeast Oregon fires. So yeah, it's a time. I am probably going to finish Queenie tomorrow. I'm driving back to Boise, so it's like a 3-hour drive, and I think I should be able to finish it, which would be lovely. This book is having a very strong emotional impact on me. Like, I'm listening to it as I'm driving, and just the people in Queenie's life, so many of them are causing a lot of harm in these kind of, both in very pointed and deliberate ways, but also in kind of roundabout ways, and it feels so hard to listen to sometimes. Just like her relationships with friends, the way that she's using dating apps and casual sex as a means to kind of avoid feelings. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a counselor by any means, but I'm like just want her to be okay. But then she has these friends who are trying really hard to be supportive of her, and like, it's interesting to listen to them or to see the way that her friends and her family are doing their best, and doing their best in a lot of ways. I don't know, maybe I'll regret saying that. I'm like on the edge. I'm like, is everyone going to do something questionable? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely like, it's a contemporary book, and I think I often have this assumption that like contemporary stories are fluffy or not real, or don't tackle real subjects, which is my own like genre bias, my own assumptions to get over. But this is really heavy and feels very, I don't know, intimate to read, both because we are getting the stories of what Queenie is struggling with, and because Queenie is like Queenie's my age, about like in my age group, and I don't think I often read books. I straight up just don't read books about I don't read contemporary books and stories about my age group. This good old Gen Z millennial conundrum. I'm here to do my final check-in because this morning I finished listening to the audiobook of Queenie. This book I found at a little free library last fall, I think. So yeah, but I've been listening to it on audiobook, which I really enjoyed. I think the narrator did an amazing job. Again, I'm trying to get more into audiobooks with varying degrees of success, but I really enjoyed this. There's so many emotions. I mean, the book really follows Queenie as she's struggling with her mental health following a breakup, and part of that is getting to see her work through and like admit that what she's struggling with is a mental health concern. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. And then I finished reading Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit and Homegoing by Yajasi, and I really enjoyed all three of these for different reasons. I mean, I really fell in love with the structure of Homegoing. Rereading and revisiting this book by one of my favorite authors was great, and you know, has reminded me of why I enjoy reading Jeanette Winterson's books, and this was just a really great story and convinced me that I should be reading more contemporary books, because I don't know, for like not necessarily relatability factors, but there's something to be said about reading stories about people in one's age group, so, or like place in life. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see one like it, I did a vlog where I was reading all red books at the beginning of this year, and I can link that down below. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Tell me what your favorite orange book is.